Alright, hello. My name's Dave, and this is my Titanfall 2 guide for newbies. Titanfall 2 is a pretty fun game I've been playing recently, but it has a bit of a learning curve to it, and it can be kind of intimidating to new players. There's a lot to it. It's not super simple, but with some tips and tricks, you can make sure your first multiplayer experience or first few are pretty good. If you are thinking about getting the game, you just got the game, but you haven't tried multiplayer yet, or you're having a tough time in multiplayer, this is the video for you. My first piece of advice, if you haven't done it yet, is to do the campaign. It's really fun, and it'll teach you and make you get acclimated to movement, such as wall running and jumping and shooting while wall running and all that kind of jazz. And it's a lot of fun. I recommend it. Whenever you feel like playing multiplayer, you can do it right away if you really want to, or you can do the single player first. You just jump right in. The first thing we're going to look at is your pilot setup. You can customize your pilot, your Titan, and your boost. We'll start with the pilot. What I recommend for pilots, for your ability in the upper left, is the pulse blade. The pulse blade is very easy to use. It's a cool looking dagger. Your character throws it. It sticks in a wall or a ground or even a person. It'll kill someone if you throw it at them. And then it makes a sonar pulse around it that lets you and your teammates see other enemies through walls and on the minimap. It's a huge help in firefights. Even if you're not involved and you see a bunch of your teammates fighting, just throw this thing right in there and it'll give them a big advantage. The grenade, you can really use whatever you'd like. They're all pretty good, to be honest. I stick with the Firestar, which is not something you get right away, but it's a very, very early unlock. It's easy to throw. It takes a pretty straight trajectory. It sticks to targets like a Titan, and it just emits thermite. Does damage over time. You can also throw it in a door to kind of, like if someone's chasing you, you don't know where they're coming through, you can throw it in a door to keep them from going through that door. You can also get whatever kind of crazy camos and etc. that you want. You can make your character male or female, whichever you choose. As for guns, I really recommend the CAR, the C-A-R. It's the very first submachine gun that you get in the game. It is fantastic. It has really good rate of fire, super good accuracy, almost no recoil at all. It's a very easy to use weapon. Good magazine size. Its only drawback is it tends to have a bit of damage fall off at range, but not enough that it just makes it the best. Easy to use, really recommend the CAR. Next, as you get unlocks, they're all cool. You like them all. I really recommend the Tactikill though, if you can get it, quite nice. As for your secondary weapon, I recommend an anti-Titan weapon. And the charge rifle is a really good newbie weapon. It's very easy to use. It shoots super accurate. It shoots super far. It does pretty good damage. Hold the trigger down to charge it up and it'll shoot off by itself. Like a fusion rifle from Destiny. Only much, much more accurate. As far as your kits, I recommend the power cell so you can throw those sonar daggers more often. If you feel like you're dying too much or... Actually, the real thing is when you get in a one-on-one fight, you kill the other guy, but you're almost dead. Then someone shoots you right after. The fast regen might help you there. Otherwise, get the other. As for the kit 2, I recommend the wall hang. The kill report just doesn't seem very useful to me. As for your execution, that's a vanity thing, so it doesn't really matter. Choose the one that you like the best. Then the next thing you're going to want to customize is your Titan. I really recommend, they're all good. They're all good. There is no bad Titan. They're all fun. They all each have their unique playstyle. And if you play through the single player, you will use all of them. So you will know which one you like the best. If you don't know which one you like the best, or you're just asking for advice on what to do first, I recommend the Tone. The Tone is very easy to use, very powerful. It's good against pilots. It's great against Titans. It's maneuverable. I don't know why they have the difficulty at 3 stars there in the lower right. It is definitely the easiest to use. First, its main weapon, a 40mm cannon. It fires semi-auto. Boom, 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 pretty fast rate of fire, dead on accurate. The projectile travels real far, so you don't really have to lead stuff. It one-shots pilots, and it does a lot of damage to Titans. I've easily, several times, shot pilots out of mid-jump with this thing. It's very easy to aim. Additionally, it does splash damage. So if a pilot's in a building, you can just spray these in the building, and a lot of times you'll get a kill that way too. I'm going to skip the core for now and go down the offensive ability. So here's where this mech, or I shouldn't say mech, Titan, really shines. Each time you shoot something with a Titan with the 40mm cannon, you build up a lock icon. When you fill up all the icons and it turns red, hit the R1 key on the PlayStation, and bam, you fire a volley of tracking rockets that do massive damage to Titans. Use this every single time you can. As far as the defensive ability, the particle wall. Particle wall is very useful. You should use it every single time someone starts shooting at you because it refreshes very quickly. Don't sit on it on cooldown for a long time. It prevents incoming fire, but it lets you and friendlies shoot through it, so you can help other people with it too. Use it very, very liberally. As soon as another Titan starts shooting at you, particle wall, every time. The utility ability is fantastic. This is where it really shines for a new player because you can really help your team. You shoot this thing, and it's just like the pulse dagger. You throw it, you shoot it at something, it emits a pulse around there, lets people see through walls and know where they are on the mini-map, in addition to giving you some extra lock-ons for your tracking rockets. Every time you see like a pilot go in a building, like a friendly one, and you're not sure what's in there, go ahead and shoot one of these in there, throw them a solid, it'll help your team. Then his core, which is at the top, I'm doing that last, that's his super or ultimate ability or whatever you want to call it. It's godly. It's so great. Hit the button down the D-pad, Tone launches a huge volley of missiles, and they all go after whatever you're pointing at with your targeting reticle. The real trick is look straight up in the sky, fire them all up in the sky, then bring down your reticle onto an enemy Titan, and even if he goes behind something, they all come crashing down from above him. A lot of times that's a crit spot on Titans too, so it just does extra damage. It's a guaranteed kill almost every time. Very good. As far as the abilities, I don't think you get the extra dash right off the bat. I think it's an early unlock. And just to know, the Tone is not an original Titan that you get, but only costs like 10 credits to unlock, or 15. Totally worth the money. As far as this, I'd probably go, I don't know, maybe stealth auto eject or something until you get the extra dash. The extra dash is super useful. It gives you more chances to dash and move around to chase down wounded Titans or get away from bad situations. Very, very good. As far as the kit, I recommend the Tone kit. It makes you get your lock-ons for your rockets faster. It's the one that you get at the very beginning too. It's fantastic. And then as far as the Titanfall kit, I recommend the Dome Shield. It takes a while to unlock the Warp Fall. It's not really worth it. The only thing it's good for is when you really want to drop your Titan on top of another Titan and kill him. But you're only going to drop like maybe 2 Titans in a match. And if you play real well, you'll never lose your Titans, so you only drop once in a match. So the advantage of it doesn't help that much. And then last is your boost. The only boost you get at the beginning is the amped weapons. It's actually very good. As soon as it's up, use it. You'll one-shot people like crazy. Your weapons will do extra damage. Just spray and pray while you have it. Have a really good time. It's pretty good. When you do get the chance, the ticks, if you have a hard time shooting people, the ticks sometimes can be a little better when you unlock them. They're a very early unlock. Just throw them out like mines, and they go and they chase bad guys and kill them. And that's pretty much about it for that part. Next, playing the game. In Titanfall 2, there's a whole lot of different game types. In fact, there's just way too many of them. So when you're new, or you're having a hard time with some of the more difficult ones, or you're not sure what you're doing, I recommend Attrition and Bounty Hunt. As you'll notice, they have the little star AI. Games that have the star AI are probably better for new players, and that it's going to have a lot of just like grunts and other easy mobs like you thought in the single player campaign for you to feel like a super cool pilot and just mow through them. In the case of attrition, mowing through all those easy NPCs earns your team points towards victory. It's very helpful if you're playing in the match and you're just getting wrecked by the other team because they're super mega good players and you're not doing well. You can help mitigate getting killed so much by avoiding them and focusing on the NPCs to help your team score. Bounty hunt is very similar. About every 2 minutes, 2 groups of NPCs will be spawning. You go there, you kill them to get money. Then after 2 minutes, or the NPCs are all dead, banks will spawn for 2 minutes. You take the money that you got, you run it to the bank, you push square to deposit in the bank. Remember, it doesn't immediately go there. You have to stand next to it as it siphons the money into the bank. Again, the sonar pulse dagger is so helpful on this. I throw it on the bank every time, and half the time, if I don't kill all the enemies there, my teammates do. It's a huge advantage. So again, I recommend attrition or bounty hunt, depending on which you like. And that is it. Remember, for your pilot, you want to use the car and the sonar knife. Use the sonar knife every time it's up. Don't sit on it. It's up, find a place to throw it. For the Titan, I recommend the tone, but if you played the single player and you found one that you really liked, stick with that one. Do what's comfortable. They're really all balanced quite well. Just the tone maybe has a slight edge. Not much. For the boost, amped weapons. It's the only choice you got. Use it liberally. As soon as you get it, use it, go kill fools. As for playing the game, I recommend attrition and bounty hunt. When you get the hang of those, then try the other ones. And that's my newbie guide to Titanfall 2. I hope it helps you guys out, and I hope to see you guys in game.